Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Jon Binnie, your spiritual psychic mentor here in Scotland, channeling messages from Mother Gaia, the spirit, the soul of Mother Earth, my spirit guides from around this universe. I often connect with the Galactic Federation, the soul of our sun, and also Luna of our moon, and many more beings, including archangels and more. So excited to connect with you today and to support you on these messages, these predictions that will help us through the journeys of our lives at this time. And I'd just like to start today by thanking you all for all your love and support. Definitely a theme of gratitude today. And perhaps you'd also like to extend yourself some gratitude. Why should we give ourselves gratitude? Well, first of all, it's a very high vibration. It's a high frequency emotion. It's right up there near the top. And that means that its energy is much, much stronger than often the things that we, constantly fill ourselves with. So if you're anything like me, sometimes I'm watching, a YouTube video or watching someone else do something, or I'm looking in the mirror and then I'm like, or the selfie mode on my phone, I'm like, here comes the negative self-talk. Like, look, Jon, there's that old guy looking back at you. It's like, oh, it's a mirror. And in those moments, wouldn't it be so much more beautiful instead of like that kind of fear, lack, self-doubt, negative self-talk, really focusing on gratitude and saying, thank you, body. Thank you for living this long. Thank you for staying on planet Earth for 49 years. It's a big thing. And thank you to my heart and my mind and my body and my soul and every aspect of me, because filling yourself with that beautiful, I can feel that in my heart, that beautiful gratitude will really help you, especially traversing these incredible things that are going on around the earth at this time. And we've just got a whole wide range of things, coming into us and coming out of us, right? So there's lots of themes going on. We have the solstice coming up, around the 21st of December. We have the ascension waves, which continue to rise up and down. We have solar activity. We have experiences of extraterrestrial contact. We have interstellar objects coming in and out. We have global truths being released. We have changes in the world and this escalation of fear to try and keep our hearts closed and, and angry and in fear of what's going on around us. And so today's video is very much about helping you navigate and traverse through ride these difficult storms and not just survive, right? But also help you protect yourself, open up your heart, help you activate yourself and really start to feel into the longer term, because really the elephant in the room. Okay, I haven't done an elephant impression for a while. Let me try the elephant impression. Here we go. There we go. That surprised Patch, my dog, on the floor there. He wasn't sleeping, don't worry. The elephant in the room is you and I, we all have to decide through a whole series of decisions about what we want this world to become. And how do we do it? It all starts in here in the very center of our hearts. So the transformation of this world and the ascension into fifth dimension is an inside job, right? It's all done inside of each of us. And I love answering your questions as best I can. And I love providing predictions, and know that the themes that underlie these questions and answers, I hope, are leading us to help us answer a bit more about what is it we really want out of our lives, the lives for ourselves, our loved ones, our descendants, and this whole planet. Because many of us know, right? Likely you're here because there's some unhappiness with some of the things that are going on in your life and what you're seeing going on in other people's lives. So it's our turn to make this world a better place. No pressure. Okay. So as always, before I channel any beings of any kind, let's start with creating a safe space. And please do join me in this practice. It just takes a couple minutes. It's going to help you not just for this video, but for as long as you choose to have the protective boundary around you and stop all that annoying noise and frazzled, discombobulating energy that's constantly bombarding you. Help create some space so you can feel, think, and breathe, as well as receive these messages that I channel in safely and cleanly and ethically. Okay, so let's begin. And I must admit, it's a novelty not having Patches kind of wandering around behind me, but he's not standing under my feet, which is a big bonus today. So I'm grateful for that. So let's go ahead and create a safe space. And to do so, take a deep breath in through the nose. And breathe out what no longer serves your highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion, nice and loud. And continue to breathe deeply and calmly as it feels right for you. And focus your attention on the very center of your heart, where the golden light, your divine spark of your soul, enters your human form. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light up through the top of your head and reach up into the sky and up into the stars, all the way up through the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love. And there, connecting your light cord into the highest dimension of source. Feeling into that oneness, unity, and unconditional love. Remain connected into source and extend your light cord down to the stars and sky, back down to the top of your head and into your heart once more. And as you allow your heart to gently soften and open, now extend the cord of light downwards, down through the base of your spine and deep into the earth. Reach all the way down through the layers of the planet, going deeper and deeper until you reach the very core of Mother Earth. And there, connecting your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. And we send Mother Gaia so much love at this time. Allow her to send her love back. Remain connected into Gaia's heart and extend your light cord back up through the layers of the planet, up through the roots of your spine and into your heart once more. And now, together with the light of source above, Mother Gaia below, and your own light, expand out your golden bubble of protective light to surround you, about 2 meters out to each side, above and below, in front and behind you, and set the intention for this protective bubble, this space, that only energies and entities with your permission, with your highest good love and compassion can see you, access you, or exist within this space or within you. All other energies and entities must leave immediately. And into your safe space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia, and ask at this time for their guidance, clearing, healing, protection, and assistance with the integration of today's session. And please talk to your heart now as I speak to your heart directly, reminding your heart of this beautiful safe space you've created with these reassuring recommendation to your heart. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, please open. And just allow your heart chakra to gently relax and open, remembering you've built this really strong protective bubble around you. So it's safe. It's safe now. And through space and time, I create a golden protective bubble around all of us that participate in today's session across space and time. And I set the intention for this protective bubble that only energies and entities with my permission and the highest good, love and compassion of all, can see us, access us, or exist in this session space or within us. All other energies and entities must leave immediately. And into the safe space, I invite in my spirit guides, my ancestors, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna. And I set the intention for today's session to ask for messages, predictions, healings, anything that will help us as a human individual and as a collective across the planet to continue to traverse these global changes and help us connect into our hearts to do our inner work and choose what we would like to see created as this new world together. Okay. And now time. So thank you for joining in. Now time for coffee. So a lot has been, I'm going to start with a channel message from Gaia, which I'll ask for in a moment. There's a lot for me personally that's been coming up. And surprisingly, I've not been sharing it. Dun, dun, dun. And a big theme for me in the last couple of weeks has been ancestral patterns. And by these, I mean learning about these cycles that I've taken on. And I featured it. I featured some of the subjects in yesterday's song, and which is called Ancestors, I think. Ancestors or Ancestors something. Ancestral Healing, I think it's called. It's only yesterday, John. So what I'm now more consciously aware of is that in my life, these ancestral wounds are a cycle, and that my soul has taken on these, volunteered to take on these ancestral wound cycles to then attempt to bring them to an end in this life. Like it stops here. Now, for many of you watching this, you might be thinking, "Oh yeah, I totally get that. Like I know what that means." And for some of you, like me, just a couple of weeks ago, it's like I don't really fully understand all of it. I get the idea that I can inherit patterns from my ancestors, from my parents, and their parents, and so on, and even from a broader kind of soul family or clustering of souls. So not just the immediate bloodlines and family trees, but also significant people in my life. Like I did understand that. If I give some specifics, addiction. So I used to be addicted to alcohol, and 20 years prior to that, other substances. I used to have maybe it's an addiction, a fear of lack of abundance, fear and experiences of abandonment, and then also patterns of adultery. Thankfully, not in my life, but I've been aware of that through my ancestral patterns, and it's like why? And they all start with an A. I love that. There's probably a few more in there as well, and those. So the reason I share all this and right at the start is because we are being asked right now to dig really deep into our shadows, like trawl. Imagine your heart is this big ocean of emotion, and at the top it's light and fluffy and it's beautiful and maybe flat and calm, and then down at the bottom there's like these big, ugly, monstrous shadows that lurk at the very bottom. And when we go in with like a dredger and we dredge up those deep, dark emotions and we face them, they can be quite shocking, right? First of all, to us, because it's really easy to ignore them going, la, 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 I'm a happy Jon Binnie, I'm super high vibration all the time. And then when you come down at the bottom, it's like, oh my, these monsters are huge. And really simply, these monsters of our shadows, and they include these ancestral wounds, these ancestral patterns. All they ask is to be seen, and then perhaps a little bit of love shone, like a little ray of sunshine coming down, all the way down from the surface, down to the deepest, darkest shadow that you have. And I encourage you to reflect on your life about how, like, what patterns have you picked up, right? You don't need to like figure out yet whether they're from your soul, from something that you've kind of figured out in a soul blueprint or a life purpose. More that's like one thing that really struck me was looking at the how, for example, addiction had manifested through my ancestral lineage, and how it's just so fascinating to see that every time, you know, one of my ancestors was born, right, and including myself, right, we've taken on the challenge. It's like, okay, I'm going to try and break the cycle, right? I'll try. And of course, what you have to do is you have to actually take on in addiction's case, you have to take on addiction first, and then you have to break its cycle, right? And so just being consciously aware of that within these shadows, there's some, right, that it's possible that your soul has volunteered to pick up and bring to an end. These are patterns from your past lives, from your ancestors that you've decided to bring to an end in this lifetime. And I feel for many of us, if you're wondering why you're going through such a rough ride and have so many shadows to face, is because a lot of us have volunteered for a lot of things, right? Because this is really and I'll ask Mother Gaia in a minute for her advice. It's this kind of this inflection point where, remember I said at the start that transforming this world starts within. So the more we dredge the very bottom of our hearts, which is where all the low vibration shadows and fears exist within us, the more we dredge the bottom of the ocean, and the more we bring it up to the surface, the more we encourage the rest of the collective to do it. Because you and I, we're all connected into the collective of humanity, the collective consciousness. And so we're also like bringing all these things. And in other words, it's the perfect time to raise your shadows. And it's also why, shout out to Chloe Rose from Mystic Hearts, who inspired me to do the video I shared yesterday, where I interview my shadow self and somewhat a theatrical performance of my shadow self, which I love. Chloe's video, do check it out. It's very different. And I'd love to do her. I feel called to do her approach next, which is she channels her shadows. So she connects into the shadow aspect of herself. And there are just, in her video, there are these deep, powerful shadows, fears, and wounds that surface, like the real root causes come out in her messages. And that feels so liberating to witness and to watch. So yeah, I'd encourage you to also check out her video. It's linked from my interview, my interview with my shadow self, or a similar title. It was yesterday anyway. Okay, so let's ask Mother Gaia for messages for all of us watching today, messages for our highest good at this time. Just connecting in with Mother Gaia. I can feel her coming up through my feet and into me at this time. Yes, please do channel through me, Mother Gaia. Children of the earth, I welcome you. It is a time to breathe. These times of transformation are significant in your human history and in your future history. This whole world is being taken to the brink. You may not have a clear sight yet of the destructive path of humanity. Yes, that timeline where humans eventually destroy the planet's ecosystems such that they cannot sustain their populations. And that timeline is losing its grip. Fewer and fewer people are choosing that timeline. They can feel it, that end of the world like feeling. I want you to know that I'm always here with you as the soul of your planet Earth. And you have all had your own mothers bring you into this life on this planet at this time. And I continue on in every timeline of your choosing. And there is beauty even in this destruction. A timeline for the few that choose it of the destruction of significant natural resources of Earth and gradual depopulation of humanity. The timeline is real and it exists for the few that choose it. And yet I sense in my heart for all of you watching this, this is not what you choose. There is a form of a countdown. And by this, I mean, there is now an inevitable path that you have chosen. Right now, as you connect with Jon and this video and this vibration, you are connecting in with a timeline that is on a path of transformation, of revolution, and creation of a new world and new earth. There are still higher timelines for you all to access, including Jon. Please consider this good news. Please consider now in every moment the sanctity, the sacred energy that you hold within you, the source love energy. This energy that you hold within you allows you to create the reality around you. It propagates your free will, your other universal rights of sovereignty, equality, abundance, the right to a home. It is your heart and all of your thoughts and feelings within you that are creating this very timeline that you're in right now. You did this. You created this. Also see, for all the unresolved traumas from your ancestors, from the traumas from your own childhoods and your lives to date, and the unanswered questions, and also the programming that you are subjected to and that has settled into you. This is what's being played out and reflected in the world around you at this time. Can you feel it in your heart? Can you feel that your fear is becoming less alone? Perhaps you'll join me in bringing down one ray of light from Sol, the sun, our father, our grandfather. Bring down that ray of light from the sun, from its very heart. Thank you, Sol. And bring it all the way down to the top of your head. Golden, fiery lights of the sun, and come down into your heart and shine it deep down into the bottom of your heart, into any fears and shadows that you have, anything you're avoiding, anything that needs light shone upon it from your ancestors, from your own lives. It's all we ask at this time is you to begin to shine a light within yourself. It is this light that helps you. It is this light that you bring into your heart from whichever source, the source of love, your own light, from the sun, whichever you choose, even moonlight. Show your shadows and show your fears that you see them, that you love them, that you're sorry that they've had to exist at all, and yet you're thankful. You forgive them and you release them and allow their lessons to be seen and celebrated. This world, this planet, and humanity have so many lessons to learn now. These lessons cannot be learned when we deny our own shadows. So allow these shadows to come up. You're asking yourself the right questions now. What of abundance? What of money? What of countries and borders? What of homes, electricity, the modern luxuries that you are used to and accustomed to, such as hot water? What of you and your loved ones and your descendants? All these questions are to be answered by your hearts now. No one else is going to answer them for you. Not our galactic brothers and sisters, extraterrestrials, not our governments, not our archangels, not any interstellar objects. It's here, right now, in your heart, holds the answers, because you are building the foundation now, already ahead of the transformation. Feel it as we enter December 21st. Time for preparation, going inward and reflecting, shining light on your shadows, feeling, seeing, beginning the healing journey with them, and allowing them to rise up. Because this new world, this new ascended fifth dimension of Earth, is built upon the very lessons that you're learning now. The very things that anger you and fill you full of rage and make your blood boil when you see it happening around the world, to the planet, to children, to people, to the living things, the injustice, the inequality, how the rich and the dark, low vibration energy continued to dominate Earth for so long. It is these lessons, as we purge this out, as we release this energy, as we shine it bright with the light of our hearts. Allow all this energy to be released. Allow yourself to let go of what you simply don't need anymore. And as you come together through the festive holidays, please remember each other. Remember, we're all going through these challenges together in humanity. Extend your loving arms around your loved ones. Tomorrow is never a promise. And know that the present moment is always an opportunity to share, shine a light on our shadows, and to embrace them and embrace our loved ones. It is these hugs, these connections, these heart-to-heart experiences that you have that are creating this new world. Get ready. Be ready. It's not long now. As soon as you enter January, you will see, you will feel. Thank you, Mother Gaia. Wow. It's one moment. I feel very grateful for Gaia's messages, and it's this feeling, there's so many feelings that she brought up with the collective just now in humanity, feelings of anger and rage. Please express these. Put on your favorite metal music. I love metal music. And roar. Give it a good roar. Dance it out. Shake it out. Move it out of your body. That anger needs to turn into that rage, that fiery rage, and be released. Release it into the earth. Walk barefoot on the ground, stand barefoot on the ground, touch trees, connect in meditation, listen to nature sounds. Like all these things get us closer and closer to nature, and also releasing this energy. And we've heard a lot in these previous videos about earthquakes and seismic activity and the releasing of energy. And from what Mother Gaia is showing me there, that continues, right? And it continues to escalate in a way that is, going through these like final big bursts of purges, because this isn't going to happen forever, right? That's the good news, is that we're not always going to be purging. Once we've purged enough, we will be transforming and building our new earth. And on that note, before I forget, thank you to all of you for your belated birthday wishes, which my birthday was on Monday. So thank you so much. It's 12/12 today. It's the 12/12 portal. And also a shout out to Stephen Burns. Thank you for popping by my channel yesterday and watching a video and wishing me happy birthday. And I'm sure when he first commented on one of my videos, it was like July, August time. And I was like, I was quite starstruck. And I can't remember how many subscribers he had, like 400, or now it's like 600 something thousand. I'm like, it's real lovely. And that feeling, every time you guys comment on one of my videos, I really feel the same. I always feel just really blessed and excited, and know that you're also stars in my universe, because I don't really watch. I have been trying to watch Netflix and like other, movies and things, and I just can't, like, the energy just isn't vibing as much with me anymore. The odd thing does, Stranger Things, as maybe a guilty pleasure, and The Witcher. That's all I've been able to really watch. More the kind of fantasy side, and even then, they seem a lot more real than a lot of what's happening reported in our mainstream media and social media. So thank you. And I also want to check in on some of the predictions that have been themes that have been building up. Some of these have been coming in and out of my consciousness. Let's ask a little bit more. I'm going to ask my spirit guides about these. So previously, we had themes predicted themes of truths continued to being revealed, awakenings accelerating, C2 2025 R2 Swan and its interactions with the sun, the days of darkness, and expect, prediction of 3 days of darkness in December, which is just a couple of weeks left of December. I don't know why I tell you that. You know how many days are in December. And then also like this whole like inflection point around the 21st of December. So let me ask for an update from one of my spirit guides. Let's see who will answer. My mantis guide, it's not just her. My mantis guide, Marita, has stepped forwards. She's laughing and doing like her funny mantis dance because of you guys, because you laugh in the comments in the video about her like dancing around like this. And it's really lovely. So thank you. She's really saying hello to you. Also, my spirit guide Maya wanted to help answer this one. So the first theme that my spirit guide Maya said as an earth elemental, she said all these themes that I just mentioned, she said it was an interesting term. She said interesting causality. And it's like, that's a really interesting word. I don't fully understand how that fits in yet with this, with all these themes, but it feels, the way I felt it was more like a probability. It's almost like, yes, all these things have a different probability. And then Maya said, before she handed over to my spirit guide Marita, said, John, because I've got all these things bunched up together in a little line on my notes that says awakenings throughout Atlas, ascension waves, soul, and by soul meaning the soul of the sun and the solar activity. And she said that is immovable. That happens, right? It doesn't matter what all of the other things do or don't happen. It's like this inflection point that we go through this, and it's a traversing of timelines coming over each other. And so thank you, Maya. Let me ask Marita what she wanted to share. She says, imagine yourself like a ball floating, like a soccer ball or a beach ball floating, and you're kind of under the sea. And the sea has these like different currents flowing over each other. And this happens right across our seas and oceans. And often, the way that the especially salt water works is that you can have like a hot patch and a cold patch, and they can like, currents can go over and pass each other, just like the Gulf Stream that keeps Scotland so hot. Scotland always looks so cold in the movies and everything, but actually it's much warmer, it's much milder because of the tropics sending up the Gulf Stream up to us. And it comes right across the Atlantic, which is so magical. So there's this feeling. She's saying that Marita's showing me that if you're happy, high vibration, and so this is lighter, so you have more air, is that kind of bubble or ball floating under the ocean, you rise up to the top, and you'll be on a high vibration timeline. And if you're lower, you'll go in a lower vibration timeline. So let me just ask, because this sounds a bit like we're being given a choice. Are we being given a choice, Marita, for the timeline? Like a third dimension and fifth dimension timeline, for example? She says, yes, they are. She's trying to show me this visually as well. She says, these are precursors. So it's almost like, we often think as timelines, like the simplification of a timeline would be like, you have two timelines. You have high vibration, low vibration. And, choose, which do you choose? It's like a dance. Which do you choose? John, so she said it's not quite like that. She said it's more like it starts a bit like this, because actually it's next year into about the summer, into Q2 next year, 2026, that we make the stronger choices. She says right now, from December, each of us from December 21st, we're all being given a choice about, okay, are you ready to like take a step up now? Are you ready to step up into that next timeline? And let me ask a bit more, because she's showing me a bit more about how that works. So first of all, completing that first message, which is you set your vibration, set your emotion levels, and that is the way you choose a timeline. So if you're feeling happy, joyful, grateful, right? And these are practices, right? They're choices to practice. Just like we heard in my meditation this morning, thank your body. Thank you, body. Thank you for still being alive. Thank you for being happy and healthy. Thank you for being 49 years old and still be able to run 4 miles and do whatever I want physically. I've never felt so good physically. Thank you for a beautiful heart. And then, extend out beyond yourself. Thank your family, your friends, your loved ones, food, water, really practicing those gratitude. They are practices, right? It doesn't just come for free. It's like, oh, I just happened to be the highest vibration I've ever been in my life yesterday. It was so amazing. We do get some kind of natural kind of bursts up and down like that. It is also a hard practice. I do not deny the deep, dark, horrible, horrific reality of being here on Earth in the third dimension that so many of us are suffering in. And, I've experienced a lot of suffering in my life. It's also a choice to face those fears, right? Face those traumas, keep allowing them to have some light of your love, keep working through them. I work through mine at least once a week. Now it's more likely 2 or 3 times a week. And also like choosing those practices. Every time you're catching yourself in looking in the mirror, giving yourself a hard time about how you look or how you feel, or, oh, I'm always making that mistake, or whatever that thing is that negatively you're saying to yourself, catch yourself, say, hey, no, stop creating this negative energy and putting it into myself. The world's got enough problems, right? I'm going to stop that. I'm going to catch myself and say, I did my very best. Yes, I could have imagined a whole infinite universe of the things I could have done better. But in that moment, I did my best. Thank you. Thank you, mind. Thank you, heart. Thank you, body. And, it is a practice in that the more seconds and minutes you spend with your heart and with your love for yourself each day and love for your loved ones, this all helps, right? Another practice I really love is first thing in the morning, I look in the mirror, just as I'm shaving, and I say, John, I love you. John, I love you. John, I love you. And I look at myself in the eyes as I say it and laugh a bit. And that's another few seconds in a day. I'm not giving myself a hard time about, my lack, fears, addictions, whatever it is. Speaking of addictions, time for more coffee. I can just imagine when my soul was like being shown the blueprint of Jon Binnie's life. It's like, you can be Jon Binnie. You can like be Mr. Corporate guy, be obsessed by software for 26 years and have a really great career. And and then you're going to like totally change, and then you're going to have this mission to like help, thousands, millions, maybe one day billions of people on their awakening journeys. And I can just imagine my soul saying, yeah, but I mean, that all sounds amazing. But let me just check, is there coffee? Because if there's not coffee, I'm not going to that lifetime. That is non-negotiable. Okay, wonderful. So Marita was just going to show me a little bit more about these first steps we make into like that kind of. It almost feels like is that right? The right term for things that come off veins is like capillaries. Is that right? Because she first showed me, it looked like kind of like estuaries, where these kind of like little branches of water help feed a river and the ocean and sea and vice versa. So let me just ask a bit more about how we choose those. She says all the things you've just said. So every single choice is always really simple, because simply we don't need to have, the universe does not require us to have an understanding of any of this. We don't need to understand anything about vibration, frequencies. It is simply that you have a kind of like an average frequency for the day, if you like. And so the more time, the majority of the time that you spend in a frequency or a frequency range dictates the timeline that you enter. So you kind of lift up when you're happy and high vibration into the high timeline. And then if you're down, fear, anger, and shame, and like low vibration emotions, you're down in the low vibration timeline. And she's explaining that once we take a step up, so a few of you have asked this, she said, as soon as the difference now that we can observe from December 21st is that because you step up in frequency, the reality around you shifts. So you actually feel this like feedback, like not just feeling, it's not like, hey, I'm Jon Binnie. I'm the happiest person in hell on earth. That's not my mission, right? It's really warm in here. um, Look at all the flames. I'm so tempted to go back and edit these videos and put in effects, but no, don't start that, John. So yeah, really simply, we start to get feedback, like, look, and we start to get this almost like this kind of soul nudge, like feeling like, told you, remember that your soul's saying to you, remember when we're happy things happen outside of us too. Other people seem happier outcomes seem to happen. And this is because we're like taking that first step up on a timeline. So that's really good news, right? Because this was another, big thing about my personal journey is I never wanted to be like literally the happiest guy or the richest guy on hell on earth, right? Because it'd just be like, I don't know, I always had that feeling that it would be like a lottery winner and that you would be sat by your swimming pool in this total paradise, right? This beautiful house and all your loved ones, and everyone's very happy and very well cared for. But then the rest of the world would be in hell, right? And it'd be like, that's not what I want, because I could not be happy seeing the rest of the world as it is or worse, even if I was personally rich, even if I thought I was personally happy. For me, my happiness, my personal choice for happiness is that I want the whole world to at very least be getting better and on a upward trajectory, right? And ideally, just as happy as I am, and more. So yeah, there's that lovely feeling of co-creating this together. So this is some of the experiences we're going to start to have, thankfully. I'm so excited for that. Okay. And any other messages before I come on to your questions that people have posted? Marita says, no, get to the questions. Okay, great. So I have my laptop down here, and let's just do a little selection of questions. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Loving those high-tech sound effects with my reverb pedal from my desk. Okay, this next one's from Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. It says, I'm confused about why Gaia calls us children of Earth when you are channeling her instead of children of Gaia. We are all her children, whether we are adopted, visiting, or born to her in our first incarnation here. Earth doesn't seem to fit for the name for this planet. Is Gaia not the planet? Shouldn't the name of this planet be her own name? If the name for this world is something else, what is it? I am unclear why we have identified by only one of the elements here when we belong to all of them, including the ether, which is her spirit. Yes? Question mark. Or ether something else. Okay, wow, powerful questions. Well, let's ask Gaia. It's just asking Gaia. So Gaia says she calls us children of Earth because we are born on the Earth. The Earth is our body. Gaia is the soul. And she says simply because we are birthed on the planet, she calls us children of the Earth, and her body provides the nutrients, the food of our mothers and fathers, and also ourselves. She says she doesn't call us children of Gaia. Sometimes she may. She says she wants to be respectful for your own individual soul lineage, your own family trees, and for this, their souls. And in many respects, you also belong to them. To the final question, she says, yes, we are, she says, first of all, we're all in this together, regardless of how we name each other as father, daughter, mother, child. And she says some of the underlying root causes for this question are the disconnect that humans continue to have with the earth. And Gaia says she knows many of her, she's calling them her siblings, including Mars. She's saying that they will eject civilizations. Other planets eject civilizations. They destroy civilizations that do not show respect for the planet, so in our case, the Earth and Mother Gaia. And she says this is one of her superpowers, is this seemingly, and she says, but it's not totally infinite patience that she has for the human race and wanting to see us and support us through to our harmonious and co-creative success. And she says on other planets, often the children, the beings of the earth or of the planet, on other planets, the children, all the living things, simply refer to each other in unity as one. And that they're really just different names, conceptually, just different names of beings, a bit like we'd call each other brother and sister, mother, father. And she says, the way sometimes we call planet Earth mother, and we call, some of us call the sun grandfather or grandpa soul. She says, she's showing me, for example, a tiger on Earth that, a human child would call an older tiger a father, even though there was no blood connection. There's this feeling of everyone being connected, every living thing being connected in unity to each other. And she says, your question's really important because it helps us dive deeper into these concepts that we have right now are constrictive. Mother, father, son, daughter, they are constrictive because they create a hierarchy and they divide us. And she says, you're being encouraged as humanity to unite each other's hearts together. And I spend a lot of time in my language describing people as my brother and sister, and that I love you, brother, and I love you, sister. And it just doesn't matter, whose father or mother you come from. And it really doesn't matter which planet you come from. Okay. Is there anything else? I'm just looking back through the questions. Is there anything else? Yeah. Gaia says, I hope this helps, Cheryl. It may create more questions in your mind. And she's encouraging you to release. So she's saying this to me as well. It's advice from me as well, to release these concepts, these constructs, mother, father, daughter, son, child, and to start to explore new concepts that are far more inclusive. And she really loves those last points you're making about, we're identified by one element, and yet you were saying what were the words that Cheryl used? Yeah, it was in reference to only one of the elements here and it's the words, when we belong to all of them. And that's Gaia's point. It's like, yes, totally agree. We belong to all of them. Thank you. Oh, what a beautiful question. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Mother Gaia. Okay, let's choose the next question. Just randomly picking the next one. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay, this next one is from Laura Gross 965. And it says, interesting question, says, does Jesus like that we celebrate his birthday with presents under trees? Wow. Well, I didn't invite Jesus in to the session, so I'll need to do that to ask him. And you'll know from a recent video I did, I have very rarely spoken with Jesus, just a handful of times. So there's no time like the present. Let me see. It's funny to say, is he available? So let me ask my guide's assistants as well to invite him in. Yeah, he's happy to come in to the space. Oh, so just feeling his really beautiful energy, his grace and beauty. Thank you, Jesus. And he's really funny. He's showing me him lying under a Christmas tree, and he says, "It is not gifts that I wish you to give to each other. It is for you to see that you are the gift. And so if you're to do anything under a tree, please yourself lie down under the tree and give yourself to yourself and give yourself to your loved ones. You are the gift, and you're always more than enough. Of course, choose what you wish, celebrate as you wish, and know that I always love you coming together as families." Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Wow. He it's quite funny. He seems to be a busy guy he's like, okay, and I've got to go. So, okay, thank you. I guess we must keep him busy around the earth. Lots of questions. So I hope that helps you. Laura, answer the question. Thank you for inviting in Jesus. Okay, and let's see if there's any other questions. Well, there is lots more questions, and keep your questions coming, please. I've almost run out, so please keep them coming. Okay, and choosing the next one. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay, and this one is from Tina Novak, 4770. When you're walking amongst the trees and grounding, are we grounding too via watching? I feel so at peace watching you and Patch walking. Thanks. Yay. And I'm sure Patch is, I would move the camera and show you, but it would all just stop working properly. Or there'd be no audio. So I'm going to answer, and then I'd also love to ask Mother Gaia as well, her thoughts or my guides. The first is, yes, when I'm out doing my, what did you guys suggest? Some brilliant names. Woo Woo Wednesday, Woodland Wednesdays, Whispers, Woodland Walks. So thank you. I call them currently Psychic Tree Talks. I did one on Wednesday. And so yes, like really simply. So that's also why, this plant here is, it wasn't born natural. It is, we would call it a plastic or fake plant. And yet having it here helps me, it helps you guys see that I care about nature, even if it's like a false representation of it. But I feel more connected to nature just having that. If I took the plant out, like, there's no nature in here. It's just a prison cell. Help, let me out. So when you're seeing me in nature, hearing the sounds, what it's doing is it's drawing your consciousness to your own connection with the earth. Because remembering, you are nature. So it's like nature experiencing itself. So when you experience nature, so all these things help, right? Fake plants, pictures of nature, sounds of nature, YouTube videos about nature, watching people in nature. The vast majority of YouTube videos I watch now are people in nature. I was watching one this morning about someone spending 3 days in the Amazon by themselves in the rainforest. It's like every time you do these things, because remember your consciousness, or should I say your body's local, right? Your body's like physically here, and yet your consciousness can go anywhere you want, right? And so that's so powerful for you when you're doing, spending time and investing time in watching content that is connect with nature because it helps you connect. And yeah, that feeling of peace, it's also helping you, I feel very much, how do I also describe this? Imagine that there's no, like I'm using a phone to record this, there's no phone between you and I. There's no, if you're watching this on your phone or you're watching this on your TV or whatever, look, I'm on TV, I'm on your TV, or I'm on your phone, that the screen doesn't exist. And that actually what you're doing is that what's created in front of your conscious awareness is this little area of nature. Yes, yes, yes. It all helps you connect. And also, touching plants. So if you have a plant at home, touch it, like touch its leaf, or ask it permission first, and put your hands around it, feel its aura, talk to it, sing to it. This is another way of consciously connecting. And so the question of are we grounding? Yes, it's all a form of grounding. And just like we started the session today, connecting your heart to the very core of Mother Earth, that's also grounding, because your conscious awareness is like, I have energy, I am energy, I'm connecting my energy into the earth. The earth is always beneath us, right? Until we leave the planet. Okay. And let me ask Mother Gaia as well, my spirit guides, this question. Oh, wow. So my spirit guide Maya says, when she's saying Tina Novak, she says, when John, I are walking in the woods, for example, she was saying some of the senses aren't there. They're not transmitted digitally, right? So smell was the first, she said. And she said, when you're watching the content, breathe in through your nose and smell what John's experiencing. And my mind's blown, and I'm like, can you do that? So smell-o-vision? So it's hard not to make fart jokes as well. But she's saying really breathe into that experience, because you're there. And that's just such a lovely practice. Oh, and by the way, your submission at UK time, Tina, was at 4:44 p.m. Yes, on the 10th of December. So thank you for that. 4:40 p.m. UK time. Okay, and anything else? Maya says yes. She says immerse yourself. She says always immerse yourself in nature. And she says, remember, some people are actually in nature. If you're in nature and you're on your phone, for example, and you're not really connecting with it, you don't really ground, you don't really connect as much. Taking earphones and headphones out, putting your phone away, maybe even put it on flight mode, talk with the environment around you, talk to the birds, talk to the trees and the forest around you. That also helps. And, I often go to the same, she's saying, because John also goes, predictably me, I go often to the same woods. She says, you'll start to remember some of the trees and the patterns. And she says, ask, when you're watching a video, for example, ask yourself about those. So I recognize that tree. John might describe it as why am I in the third person? As the dark tree, or the dragon's scaly skin barked like tree, ask yourself, do you remember it? What's the energy of it? So not just, in other words, your consciousness isn't just perceiving a bunch of trees. You're starting to see observe some of the patterns in the individual spirits and souls of the trees. Okay. And anything else? And she says also, water is very helpful for grounding. She said water is like the currency, the energetic flow through nature and through ourselves. And so drinking water, if you're watching a video, keeping hydrated when you're meditating and grounding, touching a plant, maybe maybe you do it when you're watering a plant. It's like this beautiful energetic exchange. And always just set the intention clearly. It just says I am connecting with nature, I'm grounding into nature, and I release anything that doesn't serve my highest good. And it's really funny. I rarely watch my videos, and especially all the way through. I actually watched Wednesday's Psychic Tree Talk video all the way through this morning in my morning workout. It was such a funny thing to see me wandering through the woods, talking away. And you can feel the difference in me, right? I'm much calmer than I am here in the studio, and I feel very connected. Studio is great for kind of isolated thinking and focus, and I love that for the prediction work and trying to get things done in around an hour. So yeah, just short answer is yes, and encourage you to consume anything that helps you feel more and more connected to the earth. Wow. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I'll bring our session to an end. I'd like to thank our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, and every soul that's participated in today's session, and asking each of us to step outside of the shared session space and remain in our individual protective spaces for as long as we choose. As I close the shared space down, here we go, and return to Source, or never return here again. Please get plenty of rest and drink as much water as it feels right for you. If you're interested, around about now, there's something popping up in the corners of the screen, which include, maybe it's here, a little icon for booking a one-to-one session with me, or exploring my website, including my broad range of free meditations to help you get started and continue to support you on your awakening journey. I also have my prediction videos and some other playlist you can explore. And subscribe, share me with the world, It's such an honor. I'm going camping today, so looking forward to that. And I've got a couple more days off, so also excited for that. All right, take care, everyone. Take care of yourselves. And remember, I love you. Sending love from Scotland. Bye.